Welcome everyone to the 183rd Celebrity Synastry chart reading, where we will be looking into Hailee Steinfeld and Michael B. Jordan. If you don't know me, hi, I'm Madeline and it is so nice to meet you. On this channel, I look at the dynamic between two celebrities using astrology. For those who are returning, I take notes on a Synastry chart looking at the personal planet signs, aspects, and of birth times available house relays. I share these notes and add my extra insights and interpretations along the way. So if that sounds good to you, subscribe and click the bell to join us twice a week, and let's get right into this one. Starting off with the sun, we have Hailee's sun in Sagittarius and Michael's sun in Aquarius. They share an active lifestyle and they both keep up with current trends, which I feel like makes sense. Like they're both like actors and like, very, like I would say like, in their sort of peak years, very successful at this point. So I think it makes sense that they're both like active and trendy and all of that. It's an emotionally detached relationship and they maintain their independence, which would make so if they're like more sort of like colleagues and friends. Because from what I know, Hailee, she's married this year actually, I think. Throwback to that video I did of them a while back with her and Josh Allen. But yeah, like as colleagues and everything, you're going to maintain your independence and everything. It's a progressive relationship. Hailee's sun overlaid in Michael's third house. It's a comfortable atmosphere and Hailee thinks Michael is brilliant. They enjoy talking about their days and Hailee thinks Michael is predictable, which I feel like would make sense because as far as I know, these two are genuinely like just like colleague friends and everything. If they are on like set together, I assume you're going to have a routine, or maybe Michael just has a bit more of a routine that Hailee notices. Michael feels smarter around Hailee and Hailee sees Michael as someone with good common sense. Michael's sun overlaid in Hailee's ninth house. They teach together and it's a great and enduring friendship. It's a relationship of mental stimulation and they both influence the other to be more culturally aware, which I feel like is more so, I see more on like Hailee's end of like, Michael being like a black man in America. I'm not sure if like, I guess like Hailee has a lot of like knowledge on that side of things in America, and particularly what like his experience would be compared to like Hailee. But you also have the flip side where like, Hailee being a woman in America, you have those sort of different, I guess like, I don't want to say like minority perspectives, that's not the right word I'm thinking of, but they're both kind of underprivileged in their own ways. They both have a, heart in a certain way for, a way they were born. Hopefully that makes sense, but I feel like in those ways they would make the other like culturally aware. Their suns are sextile to each other, so they get along and they are supportive of each other. It's a mutually beneficial relationship and they help with each other's self-esteem. They are comfortable and natural together and they are both willing to make the relationship work, which I mean, I don't blame them. Like if you're going to be working with someone, you may as well try to make it work, especially if you already have like that sort of comfortable rapport with them. Hailee's sun, Trine Michael's Mars. They are supportive of each other and there's healthy competitiveness. Neither feels blocked by the other and Hailee admires Michael's drive and courage. They can deal with challenges together and they encourage the other's goals and visions. Michael expresses his desire for Hailee frequently. I think they were like love interest because they were recently moving. I'm not sure if they've done anything else together, but I think recently love interest together. That's why maybe there's like rumors about these two from what I read. So I assume this is more in that sort of movie sense where he would, obviously it is a weird thing covering these actors because it's like, are we covering, are we reading into the, picking up the energy of the people themselves or like the characters? Because when these two people are together, they're in their character's energy most of the time. So, I assume this would be referring to that where his character expresses his desire for Hailee's character frequently. They express themselves in a straightforward manner and they both can rely on each other when they are demotivated. Hailee's sun square Michael's Jupiter. They have different values and they may overindulge each other. Excess is from good intention and there's a strong desire to make each other happy, which I think is nice. They seem to want to make things work and like very like well, not only just like work well, but also make things quite like happy and positive and everything. Michael has the ability to cheer up Hailee, which I assume would be related to how they can rely on each other when they are like demotivated and all of that. Both may expect too much from the relationship. I feel like this could be in terms of what they get out of the movie potentially. They both encourage the other to self-indulge and be impractical. Hailee's Sun conjunct Michael's Saturn. They need to make time for fun. I mean, like, you know, I guess, you know, if they are friends, potentially, maybe they just worked on something together. Like, yeah. Hailee is resentful of Michael and they can overcome obstacles together. The relationship strengthens over the years, so potentially it could be one of those sort of like, you know, you have your like pairs in Hollywood that always just act together. They're able to depend on each other, and Michael needs to learn to stop being so critical. Which we did see how like Hailee thinks Michael is brilliant and he feels smarter around her. So I wonder if he does maybe has a bit of an ego, which I don't really blame him. Like, he is a few years older and as far as I know has a bit more of like, you know, success in the industry compared to Hailee. Like, not that Hailee hasn't done her own things, but compared to Michael, I think he has a bit more under his sleeve and everything. So potentially maybe he has a bit of an ego with that. That's why he feels smarter around her and he maybe having a tendency to be critical of her and everything. Michael can be threatened by Hailee's individuality. Okay, that's another reason. Maybe, I don't know, her youth and everything. Not that he's old, like they're not that far apart or anything, but you know, potentially they're, you know, in Hollywood there is always that fear of age, isn't there? Michael has the tendency to repress Hailee, and Hailee's vitality diminishes after being with Michael. This isn't great. Like, wow. Hailee needs to learn to not be so sensitive to criticism, and they both feel they can have a stable relationship. It is just the criticism on Michael's end, and like that doesn't seem very nice. Hailee's Sun conjunct Michael's Uranus. They meet each other suddenly and they are separated at key moments. They need to embrace spontaneity and Hailee wants more stability. It's a relationship outside of tradition and Hailee is willing to support Michael's desires. They met when both were looking for something different. I think I saw somewhere that it was like a horror movie they did together. So, you know, that's a bit different compared to as far as I know, what they've been doing. So maybe they just wanted to do different projects together, not necessarily together, but like as individuals, like jump into a different genre maybe. Hailee triggers Michael to explore his individuality and Hailee is attracted to Michael's unconventional qualities. Michael challenges Hailee to be more unconventional. So again, that sort of element of like Michael teaching Hailee, wanting to like challenge her and everything. Michael's Sun square Hailee's Venus. Their views on the world clash and it's not as promising as it looks, which makes me think, because we saw how they both expect too much from the relationship. I wonder if it's just maybe the project they worked on, like they had lots of hope and potential for it and it just kind of, I don't know anything about the sort of success for it. Is it released officially, actually? That's also another thing. Whatever the sort of situation is, I'm assuming it hasn't gone as well as they expected to. Love can easily turn into hate and they have arguments over money. Michael is selfishly ambitious and Hailee strives to keep the relationship balanced, which I think kind of adds up to like Michael wanting to be like the bigger person. Like his ego seems to be driving him here a bit. They both hope to find what they are looking for in the other, which again makes me think like they both like came into this sort of project with expectations and everything. It seems like more so about the project itself than each other, I'm feeling, but that is there. It seems like, again, that sort of idea they went into this hoping to, I don't know, find success in a new genre or something. Now for the intermission, this video is brought to you by me, my Etsy store, Adeline the Astrologer. If you ever watch this and think, hey, I would like her to read my Synastry chart, well, I will. I do personalized Synastry chart readings on my Etsy store. I do both basic and detailed ones. The basic ones are a bit more simple to understand and really good for those just beginning out in astrology, getting their heads around it, or just as a fun gift idea. The detailed readings are very similar to what I do here, so it's a lot of it just with my insights and interpretation on the chart. So if you're interested in that and everything else, astrology and tarot, readings and gifts, definitely check out my Etsy store for that. I'm always releasing new other things there as well. And you can even just favorite the store just to support me for free. Thank you for listening and let's get back to the reading. So now it's time for moon. We have Hailee's moon in Capricorn and Michael's moon in Cancer. These are sister polarity signs, also cardinal signs. They have contrasting instincts and they have opposite temperaments. They are loyal, and Hailee appreciates Michael's soft nature in certain areas, maybe. Not when he's critical, it seems like. Michael is drawn to Hailee's stability, which we did see she wants more stability, and we did see the whole thing Michael finds Hailee predictable. So maybe, I don't know if they're actors that really prioritize like their sort of, work-life balance, you could say, and they're very predictable maybe in terms of like routine and everything. They want a stable routine. So maybe that is why they, I guess, maybe pair so well. They both really desire a stable routine. Michael may not feel emotionally satisfied by Hailee, which I don't feel like he needs to as such. Maybe we'll see a bit more. Maybe it actually bothers him more. Hailee's moon overlaid in Michael's 4th house. It's love-hate, and they have conflicting feelings. They're competitive like siblings, and they both feel deeply bonded to each other. Hailee may feel like a parent to Michael. Interesting. I would have thought the other way around, considering the whole criticism thing. But maybe we'll see a bit more on terms of maybe in a different way Hailee feels like a parent to Michael. They both feel the need to spend time apart. Michael's moon overlaid in Hailee's 1st house. They both feel safe expressing their feelings, and Michael feels immediately safe with Hailee. It's a tender and warm relationship, and Michael brings out a sensitive Hailee. Okay. Which I think could be a good and bad thing, because like obviously it's not the worst to bring out the sensitive side in someone, but also it, like, Hailee being maybe sensitive to criticism, that is a sort of a side that he could be bringing out in her. That's not necessarily the best. Their moons are opposite to each other, so they have contrasting emotional needs, and they're strongly attracted to each other. I mean, I don't necessarily blame them. They're both very good looking people. Excellent communication is needed, and it's difficult for them to be in sync. Certain habits will be unbearable for the other. Hailee's moon is sextile Michael's Mercury. They have long conversations, and they feel comfortable being open with each other. They have a mutual understanding, and it's a friendship. They both like a busy environment, which I feel like would probably help them in sort of like acting and everything. Like, it seems like those things are quite aligned with them. Like, they're sort of, I guess, career brains. Where's my brain? What is my brain thinking? But the sort of like approach to their career, you could say, like they both enjoy it because it's like quite busy, but they also do desire a level of stability as well. They value the other's opinion and advice. So I feel like maybe on a certain level, in a certain way, Hailee would would appreciate Michael's sort of advice and everything. It just seems like he takes it a bit far. Hailee's moon conjunct Michael's Venus. It's mutually supportive. I think we're seeing it again, and they're a socially popular couple. I mean, yeah, in terms of like, like shipping, in terms of like that, they seem to be quite popular. They love each other even when the relationship is strained, and they thrive on each other's energy. They have a lot in common, and they're a social and business couple. We're seeing again. They have a caring and loving bond, and Hailee is supportive of Michael's creative interests. I mean, you would kind of hope so, considering they're on the same creative interest. Social activities are important to share together, which makes me think, because like promotional sort of thing on, which makes me think, because you have like your promotional things you need to do for like movies and everything. I wonder, I don't know, maybe because we did see they need to make time for fun, and it's important to share like activities together. I don't know, I wonder if maybe it's more beneficial for these to do more like, I don't know, fun sort of things together to promote the film, rather than maybe more serious interviews or anything like that. Hailee's moon conjunct Michael's Neptune. Hailee makes Michael feel safe, and Hailee is possessive of Michael. Michael expects unconditional understanding, which I think goes back to the whole like thing where Hailee may feel like a parent to Michael, like that sort of unconditional understanding and everything. There's emotional dependency, and art is a shared interest. They may lose themselves in each other, and they idealize each other, which I think could also be related to like the movie and everything, like losing themselves in the characters and everything. They sense and feel each other, and Michael finds it very easy to read Hailee. Hailee feels that Michael cannot fulfill her needs for stability. Again, I don't want to say it's not really relevant, but it's whatever. And I guess because we did see how like Michael is drawn to Hailee's stability, maybe that sort of implies he's not very stable. I probably read that a bit wrong, because like now we're seeing like, that Michael cannot necessarily fulfill those stability needs. So Hailee's moon is sextile Michael's Pluto. The relationship feels faded and it's an intense meeting. No idea how they met, but I think if it's for like an audition for a horror movie, I think it would be a bit more on the intense side than not. There's a strong bond and both the irrational sides come out. The relationship presents opportunity for both to heal from the past, which makes me think, I don't know if this is a bit of a stretch, but did they like join this movie because of like maybe bad things happening in the past? Like, it seems like there is a turning point with these two meeting in terms of like they're both looking for something different at the time, which doesn't seem to, fall through, but whatever. Or it did fall through. But yeah, and it seems like this whole thing with like an opportunity to heal from the past. So I don't know. I wonder if maybe they had bad experiences, because they're both, a bit more action oriented. I feel like Hailee's done a bit more of a mix, but like Mike, I'm pretty sure he's mostly done action things. So I wonder if maybe they've had bad experience doing that genre of movies, so they wanted to do something a bit different. That's where my brain's going, but there seems to be something like they're meeting and they're expecting like something better, if that makes sense. They're involved in organizations together. The movie. Michael's moon are opposite Hailee's Mercury. They have insightful conversations and they confide in each other. They both feel different, and Michael questions a lot of what Hailee says as, again, a sort of sense of criticism, isn't it? Michael's feelings are incompatible with Hailee's ideas. So now it's time for Mercury. We have Hailee's Mercury in Capricorn and Michael's Mercury in Pisces. There's conflict between Hailee's realism and Michael's lack of it, and Michael finds Hailee snobby and selfish. Hailee is frustrated with Michael's impracticality. Okay, so Michael is on the more impractical side. So they both like that busy environment, but there is that contrast between like Hailee wanting more stability. It seems like Michael's a bit more impractical and not as stable. Michael teaches Hailee how to consider feelings, which this could very well be like a movie, like acting technique over anything else. Hailee's Mercury overlaid in Michael's fourth house. Michael's emotions are sensitive to Hailee's words, and Michael can predict what Hailee will say. So there is a sense of like predictability with these two. So it seems like they have kind of fallen into a routine. Michael is comfortable with Hailee and they both fit well in each other's lives. Michael's Mercury overlaid in Hailee's ninth house. Travel, culture, and philosophy are common topics of conversation, which travel they could have very well done for the film, but we did see right in the beginning that they influenced the other to be more culturally aware, so that is coming up again. Hailee is impressed with Michael's knowledge, and Michael gives Hailee a greater perspective on life. Understandably so. Their Mercuries are sextile to each other, so they enjoy conversations together, and they are interested in similar subjects. Misunderstandings are unlikely. In some way, I don't want to, because it's one of those things, it's not really a misunderstanding, it's just a difference. So like, they are quite open with each other, but so it's not a misunderstanding, it is just a point of difference, and that's the likelihood, really. Hailee's Mercury conjunct Michael's Venus. Michael enjoys conversations with Hailee and they have flowing communication. They enjoy the same movies and music, you would hope so, and they share mutual friends. They participate in social activities together, and Hailee helps Michael verbalize his feelings. So it seems like they're both helping each other with like feelings, which to me, I read it as like with like acting techniques and everything, or like, I don't know, tapping into your character's feelings or something like that, but it seems like they're both helping each other with that. Hailee's Mercury conjunct Michael's Neptune. Spirituality is prioritized and they have a telepathic-like connection. Hailee helps Michael turn his dreams into reality, and they have a habit of telling the other what they want to hear. There's deceptive and exaggerative communication, and Hailee finds Michael confusing. Yeah, if there is a combined thing with, Michael telling Hailee what she wants to hear, but there's also a sense of criticism, it is a bit of like a contrasting like dichotomy, so to speak. It's hard to talk about practical matters, and they are compassionate towards each other. Hailee's Mercury sextile Michael's Pluto. They are interested in unique subjects together, and they share a lot together. They have a therapist-patient relationship. I feel like, because normally with these things, I'm like, who's playing therapist? Who's playing patient? I think we've seen like both kind of like they both help the other consider feelings and everything. And they both kind of view the other as a bit like unstable in their own ways and everything. So I feel like this would be more so in terms of like, it's like the whole, the whole acting technique. You have to really tap into like the psychology of people's feelings and everything, like your character's feelings, what have they been through and all of that. Like, I don't know the name of that, but I know that is one. So I wonder if maybe that sort of psychological thing is a part of there. Obviously, as actors playing, roles together, that would be a part of your relationship, like, playing with those sort of acting techniques and everything. So I wonder if that sort of more psychological ones is what they tap into. Hopefully that all made sense. Hailee uplifts Michael and they get to the bottom of things quickly. Hailee is fascinated by Michael's depth and they tell each other their deepest secrets. They both heal from past relationships together again, which is weird considering we're, they're both in different places relationship-wise. Like, as far as I know, Michael is single again. Hailee's married now, so it is a bit interesting how, like, they have these both healing from past relationships, which makes me think it is in, like, a Hollywood-related way. I'm sure both of them have had, I don't want to say terrible times, but like, I'm sure both of them have come across bad people. They've had to have like, relationships in whatever way that may be, because it's Hollywood. It's not particularly a very nice place, from what everyone says. So I think it would be more in that way. Michael opens up Hailee to new ways of thinking. I'm glad she could get something out of his criticism. They resolve deeper matters together, and Michael appreciates Hailee's humor. Michael's Mercury square Hailee's Pluto. They frequent intellectual arguments, and they both may hold on to issues for too long. Michael is overwhelmed by this dynamic. He seems to be quite a lot in this reading, from what I'm gathering. Like, Hailee seems to be a bit more muted. Michael, he seems to have a bit of an ego of like the whole criticism thing. Like, that's not great. And also, he seems to view Hailee as like a threat of some kind. I'm not sure why, but that is there. Michael wants to understand Hailee deeply, and Michael feels controlled by Hailee. Oh, maybe she's being a bit more influential in some way, and that's why he's kind of fearful of Hailee. Hailee wants to know Michael's secrets, and Hailee tries to control Michael's thoughts. So I wonder if maybe there is like a bit of contrast and like, I want to see more, because there is something. Now I'm thinking maybe Hailee does have something on Michael for this. So now it's time for Venus. We have Hailee's Venus in Scorpio and Michael's Venus in Capricorn. Hailee boosts Michael's ego. I feel like this would be in terms of like when she sort of accepts his like advice and like criticism, so to speak. They find each other intriguing, and Hailee appreciates Michael's loyalty. Individual strong personalities cause tension, and it's a stimulating relationship. They see past each other's built-up walls. So I wonder, they seem to have gone through something together. Like, it's, I don't know, like a shared Hollywood thing is where my brain is going. But yeah, potentially like a mutual understanding. Maybe there is someone like they've both kind of been victimized by in the past. Neither are disappointed here, which I think is nice. Like, if like they've expected too much out of this relationship, and look, that it kind of implies their expectations were too high, there was a bit of a fall. So I wonder, like, if whatever they got out of this, they weren't necessarily disappointed by, maybe not what they were expecting, but still good. Hailee's Venus overlaid in Michael's third house. Hailee feels more comfortable around Michael, and Hailee sees Michael as easily approachable. Hailee makes Michael happy, and they are good friends. There's easy and natural communication, and they trust each other. Michael's Venus overlaid in Hailee's 7th house. Michael sees Hailee as the perfect partner. I feel like this would be in terms of either the movie, because they're literally playing love interests, or in terms of like, acting maybe, because it seems like they are quite comfortable together. They are able to get along together and like bounce off of each other. So I feel like in that way, as like an actor, also good. They are complementary, and Hailee feels comfortable around Michael. Michael satisfies Hailee's needs, and they both want to please each other. Longevity relies on Hailee's attraction to Michael. Again, it could be in the film that they were in, but also I think, genuinely maybe like Hailee just loses desire to work with Michael in the future. Like it could be just, overall attraction, not like necessarily deep attraction and everything. Hailee's Venus trine Michael's Jupiter. Michael appreciates Hailee as a friend and they're a popular couple. They see the good in each other and they share inside jokes. They make each other feel more confident and they're a financially abundant couple. Yeah, I feel like with the whole thing that they're not really disappointed here, it makes me think like whatever expectations they had maybe were too high and like whatever they had still was like abundant anyway. And also they are both like pretty successful people in Hollywood. So like obviously we can't comment on their finances and everything, but yeah, from the public impression, like they both seem to be doing well. They thrive in each other's company, and Hailee improves Michael's social life. Michael's Venus square Hailee's Saturn. Hailee is critical and demanding of Michael, and Michael eventually withholds affection from Hailee. Michael sees Hailee as unsympathetic, and Hailee sees Michael as childish and undisciplined. I wonder if maybe Michael's a bit more of like an on and off dynamic, maybe the conflicting feelings. Criticism is rooted from jealousy. I mean, we kind of saw this before, didn't we? Like this sense of like criticism Michael has with Hailee, but there was something like we saw how he's like intimidated by her or something. So now it's time for Mars. We have Hailee's Mars in Virgo and Michael's Mars in Aries. It's a practical relationship, not surprisingly so, and they challenge each other. Michael gets irritated with Hailee's perfectionism, and Hailee tends to be critical of Michael. Which I'm not saying it's like good that they both kind of give it to each other, but like we've just been seeing a lot more of Michael being, critical of Hailee than the other way around. Hailee's Mars overlaid in Michael's 12th house. Michael feels uncomfortable around Hailee. There is a sense of we haven't really seen anything else since that point. Like Hailee seems to have something here like that does create some uncomfortability with Michael. I'm not sure what it is. Hopefully we'll see more. They fight each other. I don't know if that's in the movie, but that's there. Hailee brings out a hidden side of Michael, and it's a relationship forged in violence, which I think understandably so if it's a horror movie. Like there's gonna be maybe not, I don't know if it's like a slasher film in that sort of violence, but there's gonna be something like aggressive, I guess you could say though. Relationships formed from having to protect one another. I think this could be in movie way, but there also seems to be an element of like something like acting wise, like movie Hollywood wise, that they both seem to have suffered like pain from in the past. So I wonder, I don't know if it's like something very similar they've gone through together, like maybe victimized by the same person. But I think this point could be very well related to movie and also them protecting each other from whatever real devil or evil there is in Hollywood. Hailee feels drained by Michael, and Michael wants to protect Hailee. Michael sees the more fragile part of Hailee. Michael's Mars overlaid in Hailee's 11th house. Michael is detached when pursuing Hailee. I mean, yeah, I think quite literally, like obviously he's detached when pursuing Hailee as an actor in the movie. Hailee always feels out of Michael's reach, and Hailee is intrigued by Michael's rebelliousness. There is a sense of they're intrigued by the others, like, Hailee is intrigued by this rebelliousness, Michael's intrigued by this stability, but they're both not really truly meshing on it. They're intrigued by each other from a distance, but practically, not so much. They both enjoy their freedom here. Hailee's Mars opposite Michael's Jupiter. Differences in the way they look at things, and Michael sees Hailee as selfish. Hailee doesn't appreciate Michael's thought-out approach to solving problems. That's interesting. I guess maybe, I don't know, he's really quite open with his thoughts on it, like that sort of like open thinking, and maybe through that kind of projects like criticism from a Hailee or something like that. Hailee's way of impressing is taken the wrong way, and Michael may be a bad influence. They likely take risks together, and there's conflicting beliefs, which I think we did see right in the beginning, like their views on the world clash, so that's there. Hailee's Mars square Michael's Saturn. Michael may try to control Hailee as he thinks she is immature. I think we've seen it. I think we've seen on both ends actually that they see the other as immature, so that's there. Michael's standards are in conflict with Hailee's efforts. Yeah, which we did just see how her way of impressing is taken the wrong way. Hailee tries to impress Michael. Hailee's Mars square Michael's Uranus. It's exciting but unstable, and it's not long term. Hailee gets easily irritated with Michael, and they may encourage the other to be reckless. Michael sees Hailee as a threat to his independence. Yeah, we're seeing again, like, he kind of sees her as a threat. We still haven't really seen, like, more specifically what, but yeah, that's there. Michael distances himself from Hailee, and Michael triggers Hailee's temper. Michael's Mars square Hailee's Jupiter. They meet in a fun way, and Hailee sees Michael as selfish. Michael sees Hailee's logic as a hindrance, and they encourage the other to be reckless. Hailee may be a bad influence on Michael. Michael's Mars square Hailee's Neptune. They need honesty to make this work, and circumstances in meeting were never understood by one of the partners. So, I don't know, maybe in terms of like, how did I get this role or something like that. So that was the final aspect, bringing us to the end of the reading. If you are still watching, please share your thoughts below. I'd be very curious to see what you guys' thoughts were on this one and how you guys interpreted this. I think a lot of like weird dynamics. Like, I don't want to say it's like similar to like a horror movie, but you know, in that weird like mysterious way, there's some things in here I think could be very, I guess, interpreted in different ways. So definitely let me know how you interpret this relationship below. And if you have made it this far, please consider subscribing for more. I post these readings twice a week. And besides that, give this video a like, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!